Hello and welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour, a podcast about the world of EVs brought to you by the team at Electrifying.com.
Well, here we are again, and welcome to another Kilowatt Half Hour. Now, I think we should start this by saying that we are on a bit of a skeleton staff today, aren't we, Tom? Because
we're kind of scraping the barrel, I suppose. Yeah,
I suppose we are a bit, aren't we? But hey, we're here. Ginny and Lucas, well, they're both off seeing secret Volkswagens and Audis. Mike is off sipping pina coladas. Batch is off driving a new range-extending Leapmotor, no less. I think Nicky's impersonating David Attenborough. Nick's off gazing into crystal balls. Who knows? It's hectic. We're busy, but we are here. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot to talk about, isn't there? So, Tom, it's you and me today.
Yeah.
What have you been up to this week?
Well, I've been tapping away at my desk furiously because everybody else isn't here. But that's, could be worse, I suppose. It's been quite nice to be inside because it's gone all cold, hasn't it? I took the winter tyres off my car last week in 17-degree heat in my T-shirt and jokingly said it will snow next week. And yesterday it snowed on me.
Amazing. It is extraordinary, that, isn't it? It's just we had really heavy hail. The weather's been mad. But yeah, well, there you go. So it's all Tom's fault that we've had weird weather because you decided to change your winter tyres. So therefore, that's why it's that's why that's happened.
Other than that, my wife has gone off in the Bourne on its first long journey. So she rang me and said, "What do I need to do to fast charge?" But that went all quite quickly, I think. She said it's 87p a kilowatt hour. Is that all right? I'm like, not really, but just put in a little bit and get you home.
Exactly. I know. Well, actually, I had that the other day. I stopped at Winchester Services, and this was in my I was in my previous Volvo EX30 long term, which I'll mention in a bit actually. And I only needed a really little bit of electricity, and then it took ages to get a coffee, and I was like, hurry up because I need to stop the car charging. I kind of had to do it on the app and all this kind of thing. So I ended up with more electricity than I'd wanted. So there you go. A new era of electric car charging where you actually kind of panicking because the car, especially if you haven't got the app on your phone, because you don't want to put too much electricity into the car. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad that she got it right.
I also must apologise to the admin department of Volkswagen Financial Services who leased us the car for the amount of letters they're having to send us about the parking fines that my wife's getting for filling in the registration number wrong at the car park at her new job.
Oh no.
It's just like, oh, not another one.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. It's hopefully she'll get away with that one then. What have I been doing? So I have I've driven a couple of interesting cars, so I have been mostly desk-based the last couple of days. But I drove a week or so ago, I drove the new Porsche Cayenne, which is quite interesting. Yes. Have you read about this at all, Tom? It's quite the thing.
I've watched the video or the kind of the draft of the video that Nicola has done driving that car, and it sounds astonishing. She was a bit underwhelmed, I think. It's difficult to tell by the kind of the standard car, or possibly she was just overwhelmed by the turbo.
Yes. Now, this is interesting because I drove both as well. So I was out in Spain driving it, car of the year thing. And goodness me, I mean, it is an astonishing car. So the turbo, get this, 1,156 horsepower when it's in launch control mode, I would say. So when it's in its standard mode, you get 857 horsepower, a mere 857 horsepower. Now, you're talking about a car here that weighs, over 2.6 tons, 0 to 62, 2.5 seconds. It is, do you know what? It's one of those cars I sort of didn't even want to like it because I don't really massively approve of the sort of trend that we've got with electric cars having such phenomenal performance. I like it in things like the Taycan, which I think sort of justifies it by being a fantastic performance car as well. But stuff like the Cayenne, you sort of go into it thinking, well, this is a family SUV. Does it really need this kind of performance? And I would say no, absolutely not. And it is absolutely unnecessary. But what I would say is I was absolutely blown away by the way that car handles and rides, especially it's got optional, the Porsche Active Ride, which it's got sort of pistons on each corner. So it's got completely independent suspension at each corner, and it even replaces the anti-roll bars, which are, sort of things that help to sort of control the lean on a car when you're going around a corner. It's a phenomenal suspension system. And it's, I had a passenger ride this thing with a pro driver around a rally course, and it was outrageous. You've got to watch the video that Nick did because she was fantastic. She made all the right points, I think. And oh my goodness, it was just incredible. The standard Cayenne, I still really like it, but it feels much more zen. It's a bit more, it's got different suspension, so that gets standard air suspension. It's a little bit kind of floppier, but it's so quiet. It's so good. My thing, I was thinking, so the Cayenne gets in, between about 380 to 400 miles of range. Is that enough for the Porsche Cayenne, do you think? What do you reckon? I don't know. Is that a little bit disappointing?
I suppose it is. I mean, if you're going to be going up and down the motorway all the time, then you're going to want a little bit more. But perhaps people who have that sort of car don't go up and down the motorway all the time. You think about the cars like the Rolls-Royce Spectre, that it hasn't got ridiculously large range, because I assume that those people probably have another car to do that sort of thing. And this will just be poodling around towns or something.
I don't think that's the case, though. It's still a Cayenne, isn't it? I think people will still have this as their chief car, and they will do a lot of miles in it. But let's not forget, I think the problem is this has arrived immediately after the BMW iX3 and the EX60 and all those cars have turned up with over 500 miles of range, right? And so you sort of go into the Cayenne thinking, well, it's a bigger and a more expensive car. It should have more range, or at least equivalent range. And so you sort of sit there going, well, suddenly 400 miles doesn't feel that impressive, does it? You sort of expect that car to maybe have more like 450. It is a bigger car, not to mention more powerful, of course. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Is that enough range for the Porsche Cayenne, or would that maybe make you hesitate if you were thinking about spending 80, 90 grand on a Porsche Cayenne? Is 400 miles enough? Or indeed 130 and more if you're getting the turbo. But anyway, I would say it's a phenomenally impressive car. I don't know that it's charming or lovable, but it's just relentlessly impressive. So yeah, check out the video and full review on electrifying.com, of course. But that was astonishing. And at the other end of the spectrum, I have also driven the Renault Twingo, but I'm not going to tell you what it's like because I'm not allowed to, because it's under an embargo. So check out the YouTube channel and the website in a few days' time, and there will be a full review. But what I can say, God, it looks so good. It looks so good, the Twingo. I don't know if you can head to the website and see the sort of walk around stuff and all the info on it. But have you driven the original Twingo at all, Tom?
I did.
You have?
Yeah. I've got a little model of a Twingo here. See, original Twingo. That's how much I like them. It's on my desk. But when I first started out in journalism and I was doing work experience, Autocar had a long-term one that they bought that was in coriander green.
I remember reading about that, actually.
And had an amazing sound system. And I think there was one of the journalists who a van drove into it and wrote it off, and everyone was very sad. But I just looked at this thing and thought it was fantastic. And all the people in the office are like, but there's a Lamborghini over there. And I'm like, I don't care. I love that Twingo. I think it's brilliant. And I've kind of been a little bit obsessed with them ever since. And I will have one day. I think it's brilliant. It's
amazing, isn't it? And I find it amazing how I think, like, the average person out there in the UK who isn't like a car enthusiast, most of them still seem to recognise a Twingo, even though the Mark I never came to the UK. So it's quite an iconic design, isn't it? And I think, going on from the Renault 5 and the Renault 4, the design of it, they've just absolutely nailed it. And we know that it's going to cost less than £20,000 when it comes to the UK later this year. Very exciting stuff. And it was super efficient when I drove it as well. So I was getting nearly 5 miles per kilowatt hour, which I am allowed to tell you.
Does it have a big sunroof? Can you get it in coriander green?
Not yet. I did have a cheeky, I had Bruno Vanel, the VP at Renault, did tell me that they had plans to obviously keep updating the Twingo after it was initially launched, and that they were looking at the glass roof and this kind of thing. So maybe one day. So here, you heard it here first. Maybe there will be a sunroof on the Twingo. But yeah, fantastic design. It's just looks brilliant. But let's move on before I say something that I'm not allowed to and I upset Renault. Tom, what news stories have we got?
Well, there's this thing about it's now compulsory to have solar panels and heat pumps on new builds, which is a thoroughly good thing, isn't it?
Excellent, yeah.
Rather than try and rely on people. I mean, it's crazy at the moment. to think that we could, everyone's fussing and oil, gas is going up and petrol's going up, and people aren't thinking, well, we can create our own energy by having solar panels and then heating our homes with heat pumps. So if you make it compulsory, then it's much easier for people to do rather than bolting them on afterwards, and it will look better, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think it's a no-brainer, really. I think it's been well past time when we should be telling developers that they have to fit solar panels. It's a good thing, and it's interesting as well. So we're actually going to get the sort of, well, I suppose portable is the wrong word, but DIY solar panels that they've been available in Europe for a while, haven't they? But you can literally, within a few months, they're saying that you're going to be able to go down the middle of Lidl and buy yourself a solar panel, which you literally take home, hang off your balcony or prop it in the garden, plug it into your normal plug in the wall, and the technology sorts it all out so that it will feed electricity back into your house. How amazing is that? It's very clever, isn't it?
That is very clever.
So I'm quite fascinated by that idea.
I wonder how many you'd need to make it kind of sensible.
I don't know. This is the thing. I wish I were clever enough. Maybe there's some solar engineers out there who can tell us the sort of how much electricity you're actually going to get from the average kind of portable system that we might be seeing. I don't know enough about them yet to hazard a guess, but it's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? So it'd be really interesting to see if people take to that. I hope so. And I very much look forward to going and doing my shop at Lidl and also casually walking out with a solar panel. I think it's going to be brilliant. And a wetsuit and a riding crop or something.
Kayak.
A kayak. I think I saw an automated welding mask as one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the middle of Lidl. So yeah, you've got to love it. You've got to love it.
Talking of new tech.
Happening? Yeah.
Talking of new tech, you got solid state batteries or something at MG, which was not quite what I expected. I was like, "Ooh, they've got there first," but I don't think it's what we've been hoping for.
Well, I mean, all credit to MG because it is the first brand that's actually managed to bring a solid state, or I should be specific, a semi-solid state battery to the market. So we're going to see this battery for the first time in the MG4 EV Urban at the end of this year in the UK. And that is exciting stuff. Now, as a very brief explainer, so every battery in an EV has got a liquid electrolyte. A battery doesn't work without it. You need that. And it's that liquid electrolyte which is the volatile thing that will combust if it meets oxygen, and that's what causes thermal runaway. So for various reasons, semi-solid and solid-state batteries have been researched, and they've been kind of around the corner for a long time in the car industry, and we've been looking forward to this being the next big thing in battery technology because solid-state batteries are resistant to thermal runaway, and they can potentially offer improved charging, better energy density, this kind of thing. But the battery that MG is bringing is a semi-solid state. So for some context, the average EV battery has about 20% liquid electrolyte of its entire mass. And MG's new semi-solid state battery has 5% liquid electrolyte. So still a little bit, but much less. That's good because it helps with recyclability. It makes it a bit safer. But what is disappointing is that we were told that it's going to have the same energy density as the company's existing LFP batteries, which I was a bit disappointed by. And yeah, it doesn't really seem to move the game on that much because we know that the standard LFP and NMC batteries that we already are already everywhere, they're very safe. I know that these semi-solid state batteries, they are also going to be, they're going to perform better in much colder weather. So there are benefits, definitely. It's a good thing, and well done, MG, for bringing them. I think we just expected it to be a bit more of a lightning bolt kind of, oh my God, it's the next era of battery technology is finally here. And now they're sort of like, oh, well, same energy density as an LFP. Okay, well, what are the benefits to the consumer then? Slightly faster charging, less chance of thermal runaway, which is such a kind of, an unlikely event anyway. We know that EVs are much safer in terms of their, likelihood of catching fire than a standard petrol or diesel car. So yeah, it's progress, but perhaps more marginal than we'd hoped, I think is the headline.
Yeah, I think when I'd been to press conferences and they were saying, oh, it's just around the corner from people like Nissan, but also the battery manufacturers, it was always that it was going to be twice the energy density, half the cost, wasn't it? And twice the charging speed, I think, as well, because you don't boil the liquid by
Yes.
using fast charging. And that's like, wow. So when you hear that MG's solid state, there's a press conference and it's going to be like, oh my God, it's going to be really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
exactly. It was just a little bit odd. But what I would say, they are already talking about their sort of second and even third generation of these batteries, which are already basically in use out in China as well, I would add. And they are talking about them having up to sort of 1,000 kilometers of range. So I think, ironically, yes, MG has done well to bring this semi-solid state battery to the market, and it is progress, and we are all for that. But I think actually the sort of solid state batteries that we're all waiting for are still around the corner, which does feel like it's one of those technologies. It's been a year away for about 8 years now, hasn't it? I think semi-solid state. Anyway, well done, MG. So yeah, we look forward to seeing how that plays out with the MG4 Urban and what kind of range and cost are involved. Oh, they did say that it's going to cost much the same as LFP. So that's another thing, is that it's not going to be a drastically expensive battery technology. So hopefully it won't be very expensive. So yeah, see how it goes.
Talking of inexpensive MGs, I went down a rabbit hole, as I often do, looking for bargains. That MG4s, I spotted one the other day that was £6,000. So one of the first MG4s, and you think, whoa. And it wasn't super silly mileage either. It was about 60,000 miles, but one of the early ones, £6,000. And I was like, oh, well, that seems like a very sensible new car. Perhaps I'm just getting old that seems like quite a new car for £6,000. Yeah. And I thought, well, let's start doing some sums, because various people are now badgering me. The people who are like, oh, electric cars are too expensive, saying their petrol's too expensive now, and therefore they're thinking about going electric. So I tapped into my spreadsheet and worked out that at £1.75 a litre, which is what the average is for diesel now, although I drove past a place here, £1.91 a litre. And that's not even a motorway services. That's just a local ESSO, £1.91 a litre for diesel. But I worked out £1.75 a litre. If you're doing 45 mpg in your diesel car and you're doing 10,000 miles a year, it will cost you £1,768 to fill up the car for a year. But if you did the same distance in an average electric car, like an ID3 or an MG4, and you charged up at 8p per kilowatt hour overnight, it costs you 176 quid. So a tenth of the amount for your fuel. So in 3 years, just over 3 years, you've paid for the car. You've paid for that MG4.
I see what you did there. That's amazing, isn't it, that difference?
And there's not just MG4s. There's actually the MG4 £6,000, but you get a £5,000 car, of which there are plenty. £5,000 electric car, MG ZS, for example. £5,000.
Nice, yeah. What would you have for your £5,000 EV then, Tom? What would you get?
Possibly a Zoe. I quite like the Zoe.
Oh, I like a Zoe. I do like a Zoe, yeah. Can you get the 52 for that sort of price yet, or are they still a bit
depends
punchy?
on the miles and things, but
oh well, I've got some friends who've just bought a Mark 1 E Nero, and that was 10 grand granted, but it's got 100,000 miles on it. But it's really nice, really, really nice. It still feels really sort of solid, and it's done a battery test. It's still got, I think, over 92% battery health. It's good. They love it.
Let me
so
see.
yeah, I was looking at that. I was quite taken with that.
My other other top one. Let's just have a look. So this article will be up as soon as I've uploaded it. So the Leaf from 1,400 quid, cheapest one I found of those. Zoe's are 1,500 quid. Soul EV, that's quite an interesting one, although a bit of an acquired taste, isn't it?
I love the Soul. I love it. It's so cool. It's just brilliant. I mean, it's almost sort of Nissan Cube-esque in the kind of that kind of boxiness. I really like it. It's a good thing.
BMW i3. Early one of those.
Oh yes, that would be my shout for. Yeah, can you get an i3 for £5,000 now? The early ones.
I saw one the other day. Early one, $3,500.
Oh my goodness! This is not good that I know about this now. Now I'm going to be going and scouting out really, really old i3s. I love those cars so much. Oh no! What have you done, Tom? What have you done? I haven't got any space for another car. Okay,
it's only
fair
little.
enough. Well, look, it's only small. Nobody will notice. Okay. Right, go on then. What have we got in Barnard's Bargain? What have we got
Okay,
new
well,
cars?
other than MGs, here's a would you rather, and I'm curious about one of the cars because I know you've driven it and I haven't. So, but I can guess which way you're going to go. So, a Leapmotor B10 has been the cheapest car to lease for a while, and I've never seen a real one. I did see one at a show once, but so I'm curious about it. But it's £207 a month, 8,000 miles a year, 2-year deal on the same terms. A Renault 4 Techno comfort range of 52 kilowatt hour is 212, so 5 or more a month. Now, I think you'd probably go for the Renault. Most people would.
Do you need me to? Yeah, I would go for the Renault. Yes,
but
absolutely.
I'm just curious about the B10. Is it? What's it like?
It's not bad. It's really not bad. It's just fine. It's just one of those cars. I mean, it's a bit, in terms of the way it drives, it's just okay. Lots of body lean. The driver alert systems and a lot of the sort of driver awareness stuff is really intrusive. So you really have to turn it off. Otherwise, it's just absolutely maddening. But I mean, it looks fine. It's spacious inside. The interior is really all right, actually, for the Leapmotor. But I think it is a car that you can tell that they're still learning and still kind of trying to figure out how to match some aspects of European standards and things. But it's really not bad at all. So for the money, it's a lot of car, actually. So I can absolutely see why you would. I'm not snobbish about it. It's really decent for the money. So yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot bigger than the Renault 4, isn't it? It's quite a lot more spacious inside. But I do love that Renault. It's the styling of it, the way it drives. It's very good. So I would personally take the Renault 4, but I can absolutely see, because it's a much bigger car, the B10, and it does feel quite posh actually inside. It's quite good for that. It does feel quite sort of smart.
There is a little bit of a care point, I suppose, on the Renault 4, which is that to get that price, I think you have to have that metallic red.
Oh,
which isn't my favourite colour on those. If you want another colour, it costs about another 20 quid a month, which I'd wince about paying an extra 20 quid a month or an extra 10% to have one in the colour you like.
Tom. I'm the kind of person that would just pay £20 a month and get the colour I wanted, I'm afraid. But that's... I do love it. I don't mind the red, but I know what you mean. It's all about, they do that lovely sort of pale green and the pale blue, don't they? It just sort of looks so good on it.
I think the problem is... The problem is with the 20 quid a month thing that you look at that and you go, well, now it's up to 232 quid a month. And looking at the price list of the cars for £232 a month, I can have this car and it's a nicer car. So I'll have that. And then you go down a whole thing of, oh, yes, but I can't get that in the colour I want either. So you just end up going backwards and forwards.
Exactly.
You find something that's okay.
And then 8 hours later, you're still kind of making it sort of can't. Yeah, exactly. Lost in leasing costs. I know. Yeah. No, it's such a cool car. I've not heard anything about the scrolling roof on the Renault 4, which was supposed to arrive eventually, wasn't it? So I wonder when that's turning up. I hope it does arrive, because that would be cool, wouldn't it? Should we do some comments and questions? Why don't we start? We should, shouldn't we? So Mike's been talking about his EX30, and that's actually inspired quite a few people to write in. And we've heard from at Willie Martin on YouTube. Good to see Mike and his long-term EX30 cross-country. It seems like the EX30's gone from one of Electrifying's poster children to that jailbird uncle that nobody talks about. Could you possibly look into the ongoing battery problem with some of the EX30s and see if there's any word on when owners can expect a fix? I am an owner of an EX30 with a faulty battery, so I can only charge safely to 70%, giving me about 150 miles between charges. Yeah, so this is the recalls on the Volvo, isn't it, that we're still kind of rolling on. In answer, yes, we have asked Volvo for an answer to this and an update on what's happening, but we've not heard back yet. I only had a chance to ask them earlier today, so we will update you as soon as we can. So keep your eyes peeled on the website, and we'll also mention it on the podcast if we possibly can, but hopefully there'll be a solution to that soon. And we got another comment about the EX30 as well. At Cox Jules, read your comments about the EX30 lack of HUD or binnacle. The new EX60 has an interesting compromise with a pushed back driver display. That could be retrofitted similar to third-party Tesla head-up displays. That's a good point, actually. I suppose maybe you could do a sort of third-party head-up display. I just don't know if they look that kind of good, but it solves the problem, doesn't it, I suppose? It crossed my mind when I was thinking about this. Have you ever driven the Smart 1, Tom?
I have. Yeah,
Now,
and in
that is
fact,
actually...
it was on my potential lease list with the Born. Yeah, the same price.
Yeah, they're good value, aren't they? And I mean, that is the Volvo EX30 underneath. It drives really nicely, the Smart. I think everybody's forgotten that it exists, haven't they? The Smart one, and yet it's actually a really
Yeah.
decent car for quite good value. I find the infotainment graphics are all a bit annoying. They're just a bit too childish and odd and a bit strange, but good car for a good price.
Is it?
And that has actually got a driver's readout, just a proper digital driver's readout
Yeah.
behind the wheel. So that could be a good option if you like the EX30, but really want the readout.
Yeah, it does feel like a more finished Volvo EX30, doesn't it? Because they seem to have ironed out all the stuff on that. I do remember being quite surprised at how nice that car was and how much I liked it. It's quite big. It's bigger in person or in the metal than it seems in the pictures. It's quite a chunky thing.
It is. It's quite high. It's quite SUV-ish, isn't it? When you actually see it, you don't realize how big it is. But it's an interesting one. But I mean, it's a tricky, because I would still have the Volvo over the Smart, because I think the Volvo, I like the look of it. I like how compact the Volvo is, and I just think the EX30 is fantastic to drive. On it, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually think the EX30, especially the single motor, and I've lived with an EX30 single motor, did a lot of miles in it. I think it's the best driving car in that class. Even better than, the Kia EV3 and all that kind of stuff. It's really lovely to drive. What is unbearable is the locking system, which I really, really struggle with. So, if they could just put a button on the key, the phone app makes it a lot more reliable, but it's just such a frustrating locking system. Everything else about it I really quite like. I don't even really mind that there's no speedo behind the wheel. It's a bit annoying, but when I lived with the car, it wasn't really the be all and end all. And I'd say the same about that Model 3 that I spent time in as well. So I don't know. I think it's a matter of opinion, but I mean, I would also always say that it's better to have a proper speed readout behind the wheel, isn't it? So yeah, I'm in favour of that. Right. What else have we got then, Tom? You've got something else, haven't we?
Energy prices. So we were talking about this last week. Radio Graham says, we've had notification our intelligent Octopus Go daytime tariffs will reduce from 28p to 26p per kilowatt hour from April the 1st. Most significantly, the overnight rate for 6 hours will fall from 7p to 5.2, equivalent to just 1.5p a mile. Well, yes, the prices are going to fall due to the off-gem price cap from the budget last year, but they're likely to rise again later this year. There is an article about it. But also, it's getting very confusing, because I think that last week I mentioned that I had gone to switch to Intelligent Octopus Go and the prices had gone up and I had to have a fixed term contract. And it made more sense for me to stick to Octopus Go rather than the Intelligent Go because it was cheaper. Then there was an email that went out, and if you looked on their website, it did say that it was 5.2p per kilowatt hour. And some customers I know, including Helen, who works with us, got something saying it was like 3.9p per kilowatt hour overnight. And we're like, well, this is great. This is a bit of a turnaround from it being more expensive. Wonderful. Although the daytime rate was more expensive. And then yesterday I looked again thinking, it's not long until April the 1st and I will change over. And it's gone back up to 8p. So I asked Octopus and said, what's going on? And they've run and hid because they don't want to answer, I think. Because quite possibly they don't know either. Certainly I spoke to somebody in their customer services who was very confused.
Is this the thing? Yes.
Somebody in customer services was very confused, didn't know what was going on. So I don't know either. I think we just wait till April the 1st and then see where we are. Maybe it's something for existing customers and something else for new customers. I don't know. But I think that I counted as a new customer just because I was changing my tariff from Go to Intelligent, which is a bit annoying. I thought I might have been considered an existing customer.
It is an interesting aspect of the intelligent rates, isn't it? That I've had some people comment, and I'll be honest, I feel a bit like this as well, is I understand that the intelligent rates are very often the cheaper rates for, especially for EV drivers when you're charging overnight. And it makes complete sense because I do understand also that it reduces the, obviously, demand on the grid. So all good. But I do think that for a lot of consumers, that sort of sense of it being unfixed and the fact that it can just change at any time for any reason is quite off-putting. It bothers me a bit with, instances like we've seen with, global politics and that kind of thing in the last few months. you sort of feel a little bit safer on a fixed price tariff, I think, because then at least you sort of know where you're at for the next few months rather than fearing that it might spike immediately. Don't get me wrong, I would definitely go to an intelligent tariff. I'm on Octopus Go actually, and have been for a while, but for various reasons. But yeah, I think I do think that might put people off a bit. I don't know. Again, leave a comment and let us know what you think about whether you do intelligent or fixed price tariff and how you feel about it.
And also what you're paying for, or what Octopus have told you you're going to be paying from April the 1st, because I'm baffled. Or if there are any other deals from the other energy suppliers as well, then let us know.
Yeah, I was going to say that other energy suppliers are available, aren't they? So yeah, let us know, because it is an interesting one, and it definitely feels like we're sort of, it's perhaps even more peculiar because obviously prices are going down because of the off-gen price cap off the back of the budget last year, aren't they? But even while we're all talking about energy prices going up. Anyway, we'll see how that all pans out, won't we? I suppose sticking a bit to the efficiency and cutting costs thing, we've got a message about efficiency from @PaulDK4P. He says, in one of the recent podcasts, you asked for feedback about what sort of efficiency we're seeing on our EVs. Well, I don't normally monitor it, but today I visited a friend in Sutton Coldfield and returned home in my Kona electric 2021, bigger battery version. And he had an average of 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's good enough for 300 miles, apparently. And I'm quite impressed with that. And I have heard that these cars are very efficient. In fact, actually, I did spend a lot of time in a Kia e-Niro back in when they were new. I had one for 6 months and I was getting easily 5 miles per kilowatt hour in summer. The e-Niro and the Kona, Mark 1 Kona, was so efficient. They were just absolutely brilliant. And I remember when the second generation Kona was revealed and I went to the launch and noticed that the efficiency was noticeably worse than on the Mark 1. And it's inevitably because they'd had to add quite a lot more safety stuff and it got heavier. And that's how they explained it. So
maybe Sutton Coldfield to Walsall is all downhill as well.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, he did say the return journey too. It wasn't just one really long downhill journey. Could be though, couldn't it? I know that when we were in when I was at Autocar, we were talking about trying to do a feature with really early EVs and see if we could find a route that meant that you spent so much time going downhill that you regenerated enough energy to get back up the hill again and kind of do an endless circle.
I think they did that on the Nissan Leaf facelift launch.
Did they?
Where you went up you went up the hill and everyone's like, oh, efficiency's not very good. Look, it's gone. And then you went down with it in B mode and you got to the bottom of the hill with more range than you had at the top.
Oh, amazing. I love it. That's a great idea. So there you go. But it's, well, I mean, I suppose back to the Twingo again. So the official claimed efficiency on that Twingo is 5.9 miles per kilowatt hour, which makes it one of the most efficient cars out there. So yeah, there is actually an article on the site at the moment as well about all the efficient EVs, because we don't really talk about efficiency enough, do we? We talk about range a lot, but efficiency gets overlooked and it's so important. So yeah, I think that's really impressive. Good efficiency there from the Kona.
Do you remember those first kind of generation of German big electric SUVs like the Mercedes EQC and
I do. They were doing I remember them well.
2.2, weren't they? And people were like, "Oh, when you're getting 190 miles up, it's not good enough." I think now there's the equivalent of those cars, like the Mercedes GLC, is 500 miles.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? I know. When you think about the progress that we've seen since 2019, 2020 in those cars, you're getting double the range from the same battery capacity almost. It's absolutely astonishing, really, and so impressive. I mean, say what you like about the car industry, goodness me, it's resilient and it moves quickly. So it's so impressive when you think about that. I remember having the Mark 1 Audi e-tron and getting 2 miles per kilowatt hour. It was I mean, that was probably one of the least efficient of the I-Pace and the GLC and that e-tron, that trio. Yeah, amazing stuff.
Now, talking of German efficient cars,
yes,
the Audi A2, which we were talking about last week. So Urban Strenkan says, lads, great podcast episode last week. Can't wait to see what Audi brings us with the A2. Will they just rebadge an ID3 or will it be done properly? Well, we don't know yet. There are some rumours it'd be a modified MEB, which is the same as the ID3, and therefore rear-wheel drive. But I think it's more likely that it will be the front-wheel drive platform which is used on things like the Cooper Raval and the ID Polo. So it's not going to be bespoke. It's not going to be aluminium like the original A2 because they lost their shirt on that, didn't they? And the BMW i3 shows how you can kind of make high-tech, interesting cars, but not necessarily entirely bespoke. So I think it will be good, but I don't think it will be as revolutionary as the first car. I don't think we can expect it to be.
No, I think that's the problem, isn't it? As you say, with the i3, it was a revolutionary car, but they didn't make any money on it. That's the price of being revolutionary, sadly. So, and that's why we see so much parts sharing these days. That's what manufacturers simply have to do to make it work, which is kind of sad. But having said that, we have seen some amazing cars that, that share platforms. I mean, that Cayenne I just talked about, same platform as an Audi Q6, and it feels like a completely different car. So,
and presumably it will be a new Bentayga as well, will it, that car? I
presume so. The journalist in me would like to say I haven't checked, but I would presume so. Yes, absolutely. So there's that. But anyway, we'll see. I'm really pleased that Audi are bringing back the A2, and I hope, as sort of inferred from that message, I think I desperately hope that they make it interesting and a bit.
Perhaps it'll be based on the Cayenne. Perhaps it'll be 1,100 horsepower.
It's gonna
2.6 tons.
It's going to do exactly. It's going to be 1,100 horsepower in the Audi A2. Can you imagine? Okay, what other comments have we got? So we got a lot of love for Lucas at Winfried this 5767. Welcome, Lucas. Lovely to have the Electrifying team extended by another fun presenter. And similarly at Finglebat, welcome, Lucas. Just following on from the do you turn off your computer and do you use MS Word discussion. Do you go around your home checking the top and bottom of your radiators? If so, pop down to M&S and purchase a pair of dark brown or green corduroys or beige chinos because you are officially old. I will tell Lucas that you said that because I think he's just turned 25, I think. But yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is officially old. I still work on Microsoft Word all the time. And I also check my radiators regularly. So I'm definitely old and loving it. I'm embracing it. There we go. We've also got a message at DS3 E10s. Interesting car there. He just is loving the new guy. He's so posh. Excellent. Good.
Yeah, as is the DS3 E10s, which is actually on my list of top electric cars under £10,000 because the DS3 E10s is cheaper than a Peugeot E2008 or a Mocha. And it's like
the Smart. Everybody's forgotten it exists. Yeah. I know. Right. I'm going to do this one as well, Tom. You'll forgive me because this is my wheelhouse. Because Ginny would be very disappointed if I didn't mention it in every podcast. I am not being paid by Volkswagen, by the way. But we've got a message from at Disastrous1, and he says, just bought an ID7 with the 86 kilowatt hour battery, 3 months old, and £35,000. That's 20 grand cheaper than a new one. My goodness. Drove it back from Harrogate and managed 4 miles per kilowatt hour in heavy rain and temperatures around 9 degrees C. Amazing efficiency. Real world range would be around 340 miles based on that, apparently. He says that his old MG4 struggled to reach 200 miles in those conditions. I think I've joined Vicky in the ID7 supporters club. So there you go. Finishing on a high note there with the ID7 efficiency. Every podcast, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that it happens in every podcast.
I like the ID7. I have nothing against it. It's all right, but I'm not quite as evangelical as you.
I know. I don't know what it is about that car. It just sort of I just really like really big, comfy cars. Like I said, I'm getting very old, so there you go.
Well, everybody has a car that they love, don't they? There's a sweet spot in everybody. So with Ginny, we know it's the Enyaq, don't we? I suppose it's the Born.
I really want one, but I want that, and I want something kind of lightweight and fun for the weekends, I suppose, and have that contrast. It's always good fun, isn't it? Right. I think we're probably
there, aren't we?
We're Kilowatt Half Hour, aren't we?
Yeah, not bad.
So, I would like to say that if you're still with us, thanks for listening. If you're on a podcast platform, please give us a review if you feel so inclined. This pod is also hosted on YouTube. So if you really want to see what we look like, then visit the electrifying.com YouTube channel and you can find a little playlist there of all the podcasts and you can see us right there. And in the meantime, I think that's goodbye from Tom.
Yeah,
and goodbye from me. And we'll see you next week.
See you next time.
See you later. Bye.